What I would recommend is keep a pen and a paper near you. Be very focused for next about 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes, and commit to yourself that if I'm attending this workshop, it should translate into something concrete for me. The time that I'm investing here should be of some value. So in the first page of whatever diary you have, you write that this is an actionable blueprint. It is not yet another workshop that I'll be attending and forgetting about. So that is commitment number one that I want from you. Now, even before I get started, my dear students, I would like to address the area where some of you are not sure about your optional, which is absolutely fine. It's okay if you're not sure. But what I first want you to do is, after attending today's workshop, in the next 2-3 days, if you're planning to go for 2027, be absolutely sure of your optional. Okay, ma'am, but how do I be sure of my optional? The first thing that you must do is to zero down on two optionals. So if you are confused between, say, three optional, play an elimination game and be sure that this is an optional that I don't want. Lastly, you should be able to zero down upon two optionals. And between those two, I want you to dissect the syllabus. I want you to look at the PYQs. And then I want you to look at what is the resource availability for that particular optional. And after that, I want you to attend at least one topic of it from anywhere on the YouTube. And finally, when you are factoring out all of these things, zero down on an optional and commit to it. Because let me tell you something, every optional has its pros and cons. Of course, because I'm here, I'll be telling you the benefits of PSIR, but I'll be very objective. Just so that you take PSIR, I'll not be only telling you the rosy picture. I'm going to tell you what are the challenges of going for this optional as well. And let me tell you, after doing all of this, once you've decided that this is going to be my optional, please commit to it. Unless, of course, something very grave happens and you are writing two mains and still not scoring. That is when you need to change your optional, but not right now. So what happens is I've seen students every month, they think of a new optional. And just like that, it's time for your prelims. That is not a very healthy approach. I'm sure you had a lot of career options, but you decided for this particular career option for a reason. And now that you are here, you'll have to commit to it. So first thing that I want to address here is in the next 1 week, try to zero down on why PSI should be your optional or why not it should be your optional. And then if you decide, then please stick to it. If you have some specific queries, towards the end of the class, I'll give you my team's number. You can contact on that number or you can drop me an email and I can speak to you with regards to your queries if it is between PSIR and something else. But I highly recommend also speak to the mentor of the other optional that you are thinking about and then take a call. But give yourself a timeline, and in the next 3 months and in the next 1 week, make sure that you decide your optional for sure. Why it is important is because I don't want you to keep circling between taking an optional and another and then going to another. So first promise that I want from you is I'll be 100% sure of the optional that I want to take and then I'll be sticking to it. Are we aligned, my dear students? Can we get started? Nutan, Aditya, Keshav, can we begin? How is the energy of the house? Fatafat say yes or no in the chat box. Can you hear me? Awesome. Wonderful. So let's begin. So what is this workshop about? This workshop is supposed to be a blueprint. What do you mean by blueprint? Now that you have decided that this is my optional, what should be the step-by-step process that you should be following? If you join a course or if you do not join a course, the workshop is going to be helpful to you. So even if you don't sign up for any course and decide to study on your own, these are the principles that you must follow. And even if you join the course, maybe mine or maybe somebody else's, these are the principles that you'll still need to follow. So the point is, I want to give you an exact step-by-step blueprint that you should be definitely following if you have decided PSIR to be your optional. So what I can promise you is, after attending this workshop, you don't need to watch another strategy video as to where to begin. So this is all you need. And I highly recommend that after attending this workshop, don't keep attending workshops and don't keep attending different talks and different videos. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of our time goes in planning and then we are not able to execute. And trust me, the real magic happens in execution only. I'll tell you my personal story. So some of you know that I create content on Instagram. The day I started creating content on Instagram, before that, I pondered over creating content on Instagram for a year. And that was the year where maximum growth happened for a lot of people who were creating infotainment content on Instagram. This is just to tell you that I literally thought for 1 year as to how would I create content. I was looking for what strategies to follow, what camera to use. And the day I started creating content, I realized that none of it was only about learning how to do it, and most of it was about how you actually do it. So I am not saying you don't need a strategy. Please don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, once you have the strategy, don't spend a lot of time only on the strategy. In fact, I've also prepared a manual for you. Towards the end of this workshop on the Telegram channel, you'll find that manual. That manual will have absolutely everything from your answer writing strategies to your book list, to your do's, to your don'ts. Keep a printout of that manual, and then you don't need any other strategy. That is my promise. Now, I don't say that after this workshop, PSIR is going to be easy. I never commit that, and I would never commit that. You have to put your head down and you have to study. It's an optional that demands preparation. In fact, every optional does. So please, if you think I'm here to say that this is going to make things easier for you, or my course is going to make things easier for you, it definitely makes things easier, but not easy. What I promise to you is clarity. The work will still have to be done by you. So I don't promise you any magic wand. Hey, after this workshop, you don't need anything with respect to work. You need to work. Another thing, my dear students, throughout the session, if you have any doubts, you have to put them up in the Q&A. If you would see in this workshop, in this webinar, you have a Q&A column there. All your questions should go in Q&A, not in the chat box. What I'm going to do is, after I finish speaking, I'll come to your questions, and for the next last 15-20 minutes, I'll answer all your questions personally. So any doubts that you have, please put them up in the Q&A, not in the chat box, so that I can see them towards the end. So promises from my end, this is all you need to know in terms of strategy. Promises from your end, you will have to do the work. That has to be your promise. Now, of course, some of you may be wondering, but how are you qualified to tell us about PSIR optional? So with all certainty, I'm very qualified to speak about political science. Some of you are my students, so you know me. Some of you are not my students, so I'm sure you need some credibility check. I am been associated with political science for as long as I remember. तो वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, जब से होश संभाला है. So political science is a subject that I've been breathing, eating since the time I started understanding life. Because this was my subject once I transitioned from 10th to 11th. Difficult choice. अच्छे marks थे, अच्छी खासी student थी. So everybody wanted me to take up, of course, at and talking about a time when engineering was and medical was the popular choices. But I was sure that I want to study humanities, and that's where my first encounter with political science starts. I end up taking it in my bachelor's. I did my master's in it, pursuing my PhD in it. I did my UGC NED in it. I taught it in universities like Delhi University, Sophia College, Ajmer. I ended up taking it as my optional. So the point is, I have been associated, and then I, of course, started teaching it for about 10 years now. So what I can tell you is, I know political science, and it's been about a decade long association with this subject. So I know what works. I've also seen university level things. I've also seen UPSC level things. This is not to tell you that only I know about it. Of course, a lot of people know about it. But what I can promise you is the academic depth required for this subject is what I know of. And that's what I'm here to transfer. I also want to tell you that this is not an optional like a pure science optional or pure science subjects. I have seen students from engineering background doing absolutely great in this subject. And I've also seen people who had it in masters but had no idea even about Plato's allegory of the cave. So I've seen both the ends. I don't deny that having a background helps, but at the same time, I've seen so many people who had no background in political science and still they did well. The reason is pretty simple. It is not pure science. It is social science. It is supposed to be understood by everybody if they put in a little effort. This was just to establish my credibility so that you know that whatever I speak of is based on my experience as well as my encounter with the subject. So if you're here and if you've decided to stay, please keep a little faith. In case you don't have that faith, then I recommend that you drop off here. And I'll tell you why. Reason being, I mean, of course, I'm somebody who will always encourage you to be critical. But what happens is sometimes हम खुद का ही नुकसान कराते हैं in being critical. So if you're critical about everything and not follow anything that we watch or see, then at the end of the day, no execution happens. So at this point in time, go with your gut feeling. Sometimes above everything else, your heart tells you what is right. So if your heart tells you I am or this session is not right for you, then drop off or invest your time in something productive. Go and search another mentor or go and read newspaper. But if you are here and if you've decided to stay beyond this point, then please do what I'm trying to tell you so that it turns out favorable for you and of course for me as well, because again, I'm investing my time and energy. With that, the very first question: why should you be taking PSIR? So I know some of you have already decided that PSIR is going to be your optional, but some of you are still thinking. And those who have decided also need some kind of a reassurance. So I'll tell you both the reasons as to why somebody should be taking PSIR and what can be some of the constraints of taking this optional. Let me tell you, my dear students, the structural and logistic advantage are plenty. In fact, PSIR के साथ है problem of plenty. There is no dearth of resources. There are quality books available. There are excellent market resources, test series available, model answers available, mentorships available. होता क्या है? Sometimes people have to go through a lot of trial and error when an optional is not very popular. The good thing about PSIR is we exactly know what has been working, what has been not working, what can work, and then we know what your strategy should be like. So the support that you need, not just my course, plenty of courses, affordable prices. Yes, the problem is there are so many that you may be not making a right choice. But once you've decided for a course, stick to it is what I'm trying to say. So the good thing about PSIR is the entire ecosystem is very strong. Right from your books to test series to model answers to mentorship, the ecosystem keeps you supported. And once you've decided to go with a particular ecosystem and you stick to it, the effort from your end has to not be like, say, an effort that you have to make in commerce and accountancy. Because the availability of resources there is limited. I'm not saying they're not available, but sure not like PSIR. Now, another big advantage that many people not talk about, and I would talk to you, is about how PSIR makes you think. Now, what do I mean by this? See, my dear students, there are two pillars to your UPSC preparation, especially when it comes to mains exam. I'll put it like this. Pillar number one is information. So you need to have a lot of information. What did Gandhi ji say? What did Ambedkar say? What are SDGs? What are fundamental rights? How many fundamental rights? What are DPSPs? What is So there is a lot of what, how many, when. This is what we call as information. No denying the fact that the first pillar of your preparation in this exam is information. You need to be informed, right? But this pillar has to be supplemented with thinking. So I can't just be somebody who is collecting information and never thinking over that information. Because look at the questions that are being asked even in your GS papers. They are wanting you to analyze things and come up with arguments. So most of these questions want you to present two sides of the story. Most of these questions want you to build interdisciplinary understanding. So a question in GS2 wants you to think about from the perspective of history, and a question in GS paper 1 wants you to think about the economic repercussions of the same. Even if they are asking you a question on globalization, you're supposed to think from people's perspective, from economy's perspective, from polity's perspective, from environment's perspective. So no longer a GS2 answer can be only a GS2 answer. What I'm trying to say is, after you have built on information, second step in mains preparation for any paper is to build on that information with thinking, is to come up with arguments and to finally connect everything with different disciplines. Of course, ma'am. So इसमें PSIR क्या करता है? PSIR is built in a way that you learn this on your own. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the syllabus of PSIR, it is itself structured in such a way that you understand Indian polity. You compare it with philosophical thinkers, Plato ne kya bola. You look at the international dimension of the same. You go back and read a theory about it. Liberals कैसे सोचते हैं, feminists कैसे सोचते हैं, communitarians कैसे सोचते हैं. The point here is the syllabus is built in such a way that once you complete the course, this interdisciplinary idea, balanced argument ideas, structural thinking ideas comes to you very naturally. I'll just take a minute and close the window. Just be here. Right. Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is when you read PSIR, eventually you are rewarded in other GS papers too. So now your brain is trained to think critically. And now you have learned a skill. So think of it like this. Once you have learned a skill, you can apply it anywhere. And that's like a hidden advantage of PSIR, which a lot of people don't understand and don't use. Once you build this skill in PSIR optional, the same skill can then be transferred to your other papers. And I'll give you an example of this. Say a question says, UPSC tells you, ki bhaiya, the concept of welfare state is relevant today or not. We live in the era of globalization. Tell me, is the concept of welfare state relevant? Now, this can be your GS2 question. Okay. Now, GS2 question hai, but I have learned to think in multidimensional ways. I am trained to think the economic dimension of it, the political dimension of it, the social dimension of it, the global dimension of it. So now I don't think like yes or no. Okay, welfare state is relevant. Yes, yes. It is not relevant. No, no. We don't think in binaries anymore. And why does that happen? Because you've been trained. I say I am teaching you or somebody else is teaching you. Liberals will have a perspective. You learn that perspective. Marxists have a perspective. You learn that perspective. Gandhi said something. Ambedkar said something opposite to Gandhi. Now you know that one issue can be looked at from various perspectives and there are no yes or no answers. Over time, this skill is what you transfer to your GS papers also. And that is an advantage of PSIR that you learn that skill while you're reading the core syllabus only. Use this in your favor, and trust me, that's going to change the way you write your mains answers. So, that was a little hidden benefit that a lot of people don't talk about, but I wanted you to have an idea of it. This I'm sure most of you know, but I'll still reiterate. A big portion of your PSIR overlaps with a lot of things. You have overlap with GS1, particularly your world history and society wale aspects. GS2, no doubt, a lot of GS2 can be answered if you are good with your PSIR optional. Very sure of it. Then you have some overlap with your GS paper 4 also, and I'm sure some of you are wondering how. So, see, you will be reading a lot of thinkers. You will be reading about values. You read about justice, equality. You read about Western political thinkers like Plato. You read about Gramsci. You read about Hannah. अब क्या होता है? These are the thinkers that you use in ethics also. If you know Rawls, you will be reading Rawls in your GS paper 4 as well. The learnings that you have here are definitely going to help you in your GS paper 4 as well. And not to forget essay. Why? Because lately, if you notice, essays are shifting towards more philosophical dimensions. So they'll give you a quote and then they'll ask you to explain it. Most of them can be of a particular thinker. Some of them can be related to a particular theory. So now you've learned analysis. So those analysis, those examples that you've collected for PSIR can be used for your essay also. So as I said, time is a luxury in this examination. You have limited time. Some of you are working, some of you are in college. Any which way the time is limited. You have so much to do. You have your 4 papers, you have your essay, you have to take care of your prelims, you have to do your current affairs. So if an optional can help you cover different dimensions of the syllabus, it is definitely a wise idea to go for that particular optional. So I stick by the fact that there is a lot of overlap that is going to ultimately benefit you in your journey. Another advantage, my dear students. See, there have been some optionals that have performed a particular year. not performed the next year, performed a little next year. So there's been inconsistency when it comes to performance of optionals. अभी PSIR के साथ क्या है? Now some people will tell you this year PSIR has not performed well. This is not based on data. And I'll tell you what happens. There can be an year where PSIR is here, and there can be a year when it is here, and there can be a year when it is here. But there would never be a year where PSIR is here. So, what I'm trying to say is the performance has been stable over the years. Every year you'll find people crossing 290, 300. One year there would be 310. But never would be a year where you find no toppers from PSIR. Different ranks across the year have shown a reliable marks. And I'll tell you the reason here. Because again, resources are available, content is available, toppers are there to guide you. We have a strategy that works. So this optional is not like a trend based optional. क्योंकि इस साल इस optional का trend चल रहा है. It's not about trend. It's about stability that this optional has. So another thing is that you must take care of and must note. However, I would also mention why not PSIR. Any of you who are saying that this is an easy optional that I'll go for it, then I'm sorry. This optional demands work. So I don't promise things like 4 mahine mein PSIR ho jayega. It's a trap. But ma'am, one topper said I did PSIR in 4 months. Please stop and analyze. Ask yourself, am I the same like that topper? There are some. So my sister never needs to write a word to remember stuff. She can remember things by watching. I am somebody who needs to write. I am somebody who needs to spend time with that particular paper that I'm reading. I can't read everything digitally. I take printouts of sometimes even my own PPTs because that's how I'm primed. So can I compare myself to her and say कि आज से तुम्हारी बहन printouts नहीं निकालेगी? I will not do that because I know that does not work for me. She is wired differently. I am wired differently. One of the most rewarding things that you would ever do in this preparation or in life is to know what works for you. So what I'm saying is people end up comparing themselves to somebody who had political science and they graduated from LSR, or somebody who was a IIT topper and was always interested in international relations, published papers, and completed PSIR in 4 months. So if you're in that bracket, yes, you can complete it. Say you had it in your graduation, you have read it before, but please stop comparing yourselves from people that are not like you. And realistically speaking, you have to sit and study this optional for 6 to 7 months. And anybody who tells you otherwise is not your friend, is not somebody who is a well wisher. Unless you're exceptionally bright, unless you are exceptionally good at reading things, and you can cover 10 hours things in 5 hours, maybe a high efficiency human, then perhaps 4 months can be the time for you. But otherwise, thinking of somebody as an average human being, as an average student, I say at least 6 to 7 months of commitment is needed for this optional. So, yes, if you're somebody who can't give that time, if you're somebody who thinks you only need an optional which is based on facts, then please don't go for this optional. This optional needs you to think. You will have to spend time reading. I don't want to paint any rosy picture for you. You will have to write answers also. Answers भी आपको लिखने पड़ेंगे. So if you're wanting a low effort optional, then it is not a low effort optional. And होगा क्या? If you will take PSIR thinking that it is low effort, by say 2.5 months, you'll be frustrated. And I don't want that to happen. What I can, however, promise you, you can fall in love with this subject. Some people who don't clear end up can also doing PhDs in. I don't want that. Please clear the exam, don't do PhDs. So also know where to stop. Sometimes people can get too interested in this subject also. And that's a warning. You don't have to do that. Otherwise, you'll be on this side. I don't want that. You have to be on that side and give us a topper talk. So please also know when to stop. Very, very important. So again, I'll reiterate, if you are looking for an easy optional, this is not an optional for you. If you're somebody who can't read, who does not like contemporary issues, you don't enjoy newspapers, you don't enjoy current affairs, then it may sound very overwhelming to you, because current affairs integration is also needed in this particular paper. So analyze yourself. If you're somebody who needs कि मुझे एक static optional दे दो, I'll read, reproduce, I can't link, then don't go for this optional. But if you take this optional, I assure you all of these are the benefits, and definitely the benefits are more than the problems attached. However, if you work on this, my promise is, if you are sorted with this, my promise is that PSIR is a very rewarding optional. Many people thank PSIR for their selection, and the reason is pretty simple. So sit and decide, and then once you decide, please stop taking advices after that. ले लिया तो ले लिया. Have that kind of a commitment. Now, I'm assuming we are on a stage when we have committed that, okay, PSIR is my optional. So where do you start? The starting is very important. What I've seen is, as soon as I get started, I want to start reading. I'll pick up the book, tell me a book list, ma'am, give me the notes, I'll start reading. Wrong approach. And I'll tell you why. This is not a university examination. You're not reading for leisure. There are two kinds of readings. One is reading for leisure, where you don't have a curriculum. Book uthao, padhna shuru kar do. That's reading for leisure. You are reading for a highly competitive exam. And when you are reading for a competitive exam, you should know your boundaries. What do I mean by boundaries? कितना पढ़ना है, कैसे पढ़ना है, what all I have to read, what should be my strategy of reading it, and what are the areas that I must focus on. Leisure reading versus competitive exam reading में फर्क क्या होता है? Leisure reading में you can read in any domain. And for competitive exam, you need to have a framework, a boundary for you. That boundary, my dear students, is provided to you by PYQs and the syllabus. So step number 1 has to be, bring a printout after this workshop on the Telegram group. I'll be giving you the syllabus also. PYQs also. These are 13 years PYQs arranged in a thematic manner. So every topic, then questions. Topic questions, topic questions. These are thematic PYQs, 13 years PYQs that has been curated for you. Both these documents will be provided to you after the workshop. The first thing that you should do is to get a printout of the two. And yes, a printout. Unless you are somebody who is very good with doing things over the laptop, I recommend have a syllabus printout and a PYQ printout. And one whole day spend on the syllabus only. Ma'am, but what do you mean by spending time with syllabus? Read it, reread it, get familiar with the terms, write the definition of that term on your syllabus, know that term, repeat that term in your head. 6 hours ka timer lagakar sit with your syllabus. The benefits are enormous. I'm going to tell you how. Now that you know the syllabus, every time you read newspaper, you know, oh, this is my paper 1, part A, point 3.1. Oh, so I need to read this. Oh, this is about the nuclear doctrine. I need to read this. Oh, this is about Africa. Africa is a part of my syllabus. I need to read this. Current affairs get sorted when you know syllabus. And please, some people will tell you the syllabus of PSIR is comprehensive. मैं कहती हूँ that is a good news for you. The more detailed the syllabus is, the better. Because now examiner knows where to ask questions from. If the syllabus says current affairs, everything is current affairs. If the syllabus says West Asia, that is specific कि मुझे West Asia पढ़ना पड़ेगा अब. So please, step number 1 has to be syllabus. I'll also be making a detailed video on syllabus dissection where I'll be telling you everything about PSIR syllabus, the pointers, the sub-points. I'll explain everything. So you can watch that video also. But before that, please download the syllabus and spend time with it. PYQs are another weapon that you can't forget. So ma'am, why are PYQs important? See, pretty simple. PYQs are important in all your preparation for UPSC, but all the more important for PSIR. 2 reasons. Literal repetition of questions. And I mean what I'm saying. There have been as it is questions have been asked. Verbatim questions have been repeated over the years. Exactly same question has been asked in UPSC after say 4 years. Pehla point. Second, the themes are repeated. So maybe they'll not ask you the same question around John Rawls' theory of justice, but they are still asking you a question on theory of justice only. So the terms may not be same, but the themes are the same. So please remember what I'm trying to say here. PYQs help you in two ways. Imagine you literally have a question bank from which questions can come. There is a guarantee. Would you not like to do it beforehand? Now, how do you use PYQs? So, what I generally do in my classes is after every topic, we decide that these are the PYQs that my students are going to write. And then we decide that these are the PYQs that I'll make you write in class. So what I do is I write some PYQs for you. I explain, okay, this is how it had to be written. And you are right to some PYQs from, you are supposed to write PYQs from your end. You can do it whichever way you want to, but make sure after you're done with a particular topic, the PYQs of that particular topic is sorted. Ma'am, how many years? As many as you can, but at least the last 13 years. Am I audible to you? Some people are saying that there's a voice problem. Is that a problem with anybody else? Only Vasudha has a problem. So, Vasudha, I think it is something from your end. For everybody else, it is clear. So, maybe just check your audio connection. Maybe you would want to, log off and try again because nobody else is facing that problem. So, thank you everyone for confirming that. So what do you do? The first thing that you should do is I'm starting with a particular topic, whatever topic I'm starting with. Let me just look at what all questions have been asked. Just take a look. Even if it makes no sense to me, no problem. I'm going to start with liberalism. Let me see. Okay, these 5 questions have been asked from liberalism. Fine. Now, once you're done with that topic, I can't write answers to all the PYQs. Sahi baat hai. You can at least write 2. For the rest of it, you can at least brainstorm. So I was speaking to one of the toppers this year, and she mentioned something very incredible. And she said, I knew that I could not spend time to answer all the PYQs. So Tusharika, her name is Tusharika. So what I did was I started brainstorming. कि चलो 10 क्वेश्चन आया ना तो 5 I can write, but 5 I can brainstorm. Brainstorm is I close my eyes and think, okay, if this is the question, what all I will write. And if I realize, oh, I don't have enough points, then I'll stop there and I'll write it in my diary that this topic is still not prepared. Next time I'm coming back to my optional preparation, I'll make sure that that topic is prepared. So from day one, please, after 2 months, if you're coming back to this, you've wasted time. So from day one, keep your syllabus and PYQs as your main weapons on your syllabus, on your table always. This is for those of you who don't know. In your PSIR optional, you have 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Each of these papers have 2 different sections. Paper 1 has 2 sections, political theory and political thought. This is where you read concepts like democracy, justice, equality, Western political thinkers like Plato, Aristotle. You read people like Gramsci, Hannah Arendt, M.N. Roy, Ambedkar. This paper is about theory and thought. Mostly a very static paper. So, contrary to what people think, the entire PSIR syllabus is not dynamic. A good portion of PSIR syllabus is also static. However, what I recommend is, even in static areas, it is a good idea to bring in current orientations. वो धीरे धीरे आएगा. That is not for day one. But largely this section is static. Paper 1 Part B is your Indian government and politics, which is closely associated with your GS2 preparation with a little more depth, of course. So this is where you read about fundamental rights, Indian constitutional making procedure, DPSPs, judiciary, federalism, planning. All of that is part of paper 1 Part B. Then you have your paper 2. Again, part A is a little more static. So this is where you bring in comparative analysis, theories of international politics, and the application of it is in paper 2 part B, that is India and the world, closely related to your IR ka section. with more depth, of course. So if you look at it largely, two sections are more static and two sections are supposed to be more dynamic. However, even in static areas, bringing in current affairs does help. वो कैसे करना है? That we'll build on eventually. But remember, not the entire syllabus is dynamic. A good portion of the syllabus is static, which means that if you begin early, you can complete the static areas first and then move over to your value addition and current affairs. So some of you who keep asking, कब start करें ma'am? What are you waiting for? Why should you be waiting? It's going to take you 7 months. Start करना है April से करो, फटाफट करो. Why waiting? Even if you start in April, even if I take the bare minimum, you need time till October. See, if you're done by October, if you wrap it up by October, do a little answer writing by say November or December, understand, then you can move to your prelims cycle by January. I don't need to tell you that prelims is getting difficult. Just think about it. If prelims is getting difficult, I need to give time to prelims. So why do you want to get stuck in that cycle of prelims ke pehle mains and then again I'm not prepared for mains? If we are here today, that means you already know what has to be done. Then please do it right away. There's no need to wait. Gone are the days when you would start your optional in July. That is stale news. Start early, finish early, add value, and keep adding value. That's going to be my advice. Self preparing or coaching, start. There's no need to wait. There is no point of waiting. Now, of course, if you have any doubts with regards to anything that I've said so far, please put them up in the Q&A. And if you're with me, give me a yes or a no in the chat box. Are we here or are we not? So, Brahmanya, can you please put this question in the Q&A section? I'll definitely address it in detail. Yes, yes, yes. So I'll just tell you about the papers again. You have two papers, paper 1, paper 2. Paper 1 has two parts, part A and part B. Paper 1 is political theory and political thought. This is where you read concepts, justice, equality. And then you have concepts like Western political thinkers, Indian political thinkers. Paper 1 part B is like your GS paper 2, where you read about Indian government and politics. How was the constitution drafted? What were the constituent assembly debates? Fundamental rights, DPSPs, your fundamental duties, federalism, judiciary, all of that is your paper 1 part B. Paper 2 part A is comparative political analysis and also international politics. So you read concepts like what is deterrence, what is balance of power. You read things like what happened during the Cold War, what were the things that were important in non-aligned movement for India. And then you have real world application of it in the India and the world, where you read India's relationship with our neighbors, you read our relationship with important countries like China, USA, France, or say countries like West Asia, current developments in the world, all of that is part of India and the world. Here you read the theory, say realism pada, and then you see how realism works in the world. So you're reading realism ka theory here and applying it here. I hope that makes sense to you. Yes, yes, of course. That's why we are here. I'll tell you about the course also, but that is for a little later. Koi bhi questions hai, Shreyansh, please put it up in the Q&A. Very soon, I'm going to come and answer your questions as well. Now, so far, what have we done? We know about the course. We know about the syllabus. We have understood what is to be done with your PYQs. We know what is to be done with your syllabus. Now, let me tell you some general strategy that you should use while you are starting to read. सबसे पहले I have given you a detailed book list. So I know you must be thinking कि पढ़ना कहाँ से है मैम. I have addressed that also. This is a detailed book list that I have provided. You can stick to this book list, or if you are in the course, what I have done is after reading all of these books, we have consolidated notes out of these books. So you can use those notes and then you don't need to read books. If you're planning to take some notes from the market also, do your due diligence. But once you've picked up one source, please stick to it. That is very important. Don't keep changing your sources. Those of you who want to read from books, I have given you a detailed book list here. I have told you even the code of IGNU जो आपको डालना है to get that particular notes. These are enough and more books if you want to prepare on your own. I have even given you what are the people whose articles you should not be missing, whose editorials you should not be missing. If you come across these words in newspapers, an article by Gautam Bhatia, an article by Ashok Gulati, an article by Happy Moon Jacob, then you know that these are the articles that I don't want to miss. So please make sure that this is a book list that you see nicely and follow nicely. If you decided to go for the course, I'll be giving you the notes which are made out of these books. But if you're self-preparing or if you want to go by books, then these are the books that you need. Please don't read these books cover to cover. What do I mean by cover to cover? So, aisa nahi I'm picking up, say, a history of political thought and I'll start reading from first page to last page. No. Remember, these books are not crafted for your exam, UPSC exam. They are crafted for general understanding of political science. So, the best way to read these books, my dear students, is to pick up a particular topic, look at your syllabus cover topic, look it up in the book, and only read that topic. So please, we don't have to read it cover to cover. If say the syllabus does not have Augustine, then I don't need to read Augustine. Why would I read Augustine? Machiavelli is in the syllabus, so I'm going to read Machiavelli. Please strictly adhere to the syllabus. Don't move away from the syllabus is another important point that I want you to remember. So this is an exhaustive book list. Please use it. This PPT will be provided to you. The manual will be provided to you. Please stick to this book list, or if you have decided to go for some notes, then stick to those notes, but don't keep changing your resources over and over again. इसके अलावा I've also given you some websites that you must visit in order to add value addition. ORF, for example, has very excellent articles on international relations, current affairs. अब problem क्या है? Whether you go to MEA का website or you go to IDSA का website or you go to ORF का website, again, they are not written for UPSC. They are not written for competitive exams. So there are a lot of articles, but not every article is important for you. So the strategy that I suggest is fix up a day in a month. Fix up a day in a month. On that particular day of the month, visit the website, go to that website and look at only those articles that are in alignment with your syllabus. I'll give you an example. I see that there is an article in India-Africa relationship. I see that this is a part of my syllabus. So I'm going to read that article. There is an article on, say, West Asia. There's an article on India's nuclear doctrine. I know this is a part of my syllabus. So I'm only going to read that particular topic. Don't read 3 articles on the same topic. Give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a bracket that for each topic I'm only going to read 2 articles and not more than that. Now what I'll be helping you with this is if you are already on our Telegram channel, if you are not, then please join it. The link will be available to you with this PPT. Earlier this PSIR fix used to be weekly. Now, from April onwards, we are going to release a monthly PSIR fix. This is basically like the core magazine, which will be condensation of all the current affairs that have happened in the past week, past month, all the articles that are important for you to read, any value addition that is needed, any big cover story that needs to be covered. So treat it like a magazine and current affairs will be sorted. Just like you read current affairs for your GS, this is going to act as a magazine and this will be available for free on the Telegram channel. So even if you're preparing on your own, I recommend reading PSIR Fix. I have heard some positive reviews from a lot of students telling me that it has changed the way they write answers because you literally get content that can be replicated. So we give you some data points that you can write in your answers and we map it to the syllabus. कि भैया ये पॉइंट आप यहां पर डाल सकते हैं. So these are some resources that you can use, versus you can also use the PSIR fix that I just mentioned. Now that you know the book list, my dear students, before I give you the strategy, for next 2-3 minutes, very quickly, I would also like to tell you about the course that we are starting from 15th of April. You should have a little idea so that you make a wise choice. So, my dear students, the live course for the optional, which I will be taking, will be beginning from 15th of April. So, I will just walk you through the major components of the course so that you have an idea and you can make your decision accordingly. This is not to say that you can't prepare on your own. You sure can, but particularly in optional, having a mentor helps, having a teacher helps, because it helps you understand what are the areas that you must focus on. So first thing first, my dear students, the course is designed in such a way that the classes are going to be live. We are going to cover everything from zero to advanced level. And that is why we call it comprehensive and not just foundation. So it's not just foundation. I make sure that all your concepts are clear. You build interlinkages. We move systematically from one section to another. So even if you are a beginner, we start from zero and we cover the entire syllabus in a structured manner. This time, we have also added one-on-one mentorship, which is available. You can book your mentor call. You can speak to your mentor. I am also one of the mentors. You can get your, I mean, there are no capping on how many mentor sessions you can book. You can book as many mentor sessions as you want to. You can speak to your mentors. Kahan problem aa rahi hai, you can decide that. All of that is also part of mentorship. Now, as I told you, one thing is you can read books. And sure, if you are somebody who has time, who is also, say, preparing for UGC NET exam in political science, etc., then yes, you can read your books. I highly recommend. Badhiya hai. But if you are short on time, what we have done is, because I have read these books, I give you consolidated material, all of these books, plus my inputs, plus the current domain related to that particular topic. And those are designed so that you are able to write answers. So these are structured notes that are provided to you in PDF format. And I recommend that once you have those notes, you don't need to go back to books. Of course, those are not very, not very bulky notes. Notes also run into pages, but definitely less than the books because they've been condensed in a way that you get only the information and the analysis that is needed for your examination. Now, one gap that I had seen in the market, which I have tried to bridge, is with regards to answer writing. So what happens is you buy a course and then people tell you to buy another course for answer writing. And that's a spiral. Because then you wait. Okay, let me complete the course, then I'm going to do answer writing. So what we have done in this course is, after every class, you stop there and you practice the daily practice question there itself. Wahi likho, and then you go to your mentor, get a feedback, see how you had written that answer, and I'll be telling you, okay, this is how it had to be written. Also, what we do is we will be holding these master classes where we'll be solving PYQs in class. I recommend, even if you don't buy a course or whichever course you buy, please look for answer writing as a major component. Because my experience says a lot of students keep on reading, but they don't convert it into answers. And trust me, at the end of the day, the examiner does not know you for how many books you have read. You tell me, usko kya matlab hai how many books you have read? Examiner is only concerned about what you've written. So most people do not struggle with concepts. They struggle with, now how do I write it? So please don't delay answer writing. It should be a part of your course right from day one. If not day one, at least day 4, 5. And answer writing does not always mean, of course, you're writing perfect answers. It's an incremental process. But we have to start somewhere. And of course, as I said, you'll regularly be getting PSIR fix. If you're reading PSIR fix, you're facing any problem in PSIR fix, again, you can take it up with your mentor. You can discuss it with your mentor. The idea is we wanted to give you a course where you don't have to buy 3 different courses. The variant also includes test series. So if you buy the test series wala variant, there are 12 sectional and 4 full-length tests also covered in it. So after every 5, 6 topics, there is one sectional test. again a sectional test, then a sectional test of pura paper 1 part A, then same we do for part B. Then you also give 4 full length tests. Full length means paper 1, paper 2 together on the same day, like your exam environment. And of course, these will be available to you till 30th of August, and you can get it evaluated. Of course, they will be evaluated by expert mentors. As I said, we are going to have strategy sessions. And the good thing is the classes are live. However, I recommend jitna ho sake, you should watch live classes. But I understand some of you are working professionals, some of you have your colleges. In that case, please watch the live class ka recording the same day. The recording will be accessible to you the same day. There is no cap on how many times you can watch it. All that is not what we do here. So you can watch it as many times as you want to. And the recordings will be available to you for 3 years. We've even extended it for 1 more year. So you can revise it as many times as you want to. You can keep coming back to it as many times as you want to. If you're somebody who is going for recordings, please make sure that you don't keep them pending. इस course में नहीं कहीं भी. My experience says once your recordings go pending, you are never able to complete it. One more thing, we'll also be giving you model answers so that you have certain sample benchmark. Okay, this is how my answer should look like. Whatever I'm saying here is not an empty promise. Those of who you know me know that I don't say anything that I can't commit to. The course is designed for 6 months, but please keep a margin of 15-20 days. It can go up to 6.5 months, 7 months also. We try our best to complete it in 6 months. But if you're not able to do so, you should have a margin. Life happens, things can happen. Some topics can take a little more. So keep a margin of 15-20 days over and above the 6 months. As I said, once you enroll for the course, the recording and the mentorship is available to you for 3 good years. And I've also given a detailed plan of it. The plan video was out yesterday. With the course link, also the brochure is having all of those details. You can check that. And let me clarify, the medium of classes is going to be English. And I highly recommend stop attending optional classes in English, please. You have to write answers in English. Is English a language in your UPSC? No. Optional demands a command over language. So stop attending English classes. Either decide you're going to write answers in Hindi or write them in English. Don't keep moving around Hindi and English. That severely impacts your answer writing. So make sure that once you're looking for a course, you ask Hindi hai ya English, and then stick to Hindi or English. So these are some details about the course price. As I told you, there are 2 variants available. One is without the test series and one is with the test series. You can choose the variant that works for you. And yes, a 10% discount is currently running. So if you avail it, that the pre-launch date, then you can avail it for 10%, and then there's going to be an early bird discount. So make a wise, informed choice. I just wanted to tell you that these are the features. If you have any questions, please shoot them in the Q&A and I'll come back to you. Now, what have we done? I told you this workshop is going to be actionable. So we now know why PSIR. We know action number 1 has to be syllabus. Action number 2 has to be PYQs. Action number 3 has to be book list. I have the book list, I have the syllabus, I also have the PYQs. Now, how do I study, ma'am? What should be my strategy while studying? So patience is a virtue. If you have been here so far, you are already very few who stay till the end. So if you're here, first pat your back and second stay here. So सबसे पहले, from day one, don't start running for memorization. Don't start running for value addition. मेरे पास एक बच्चा है पिछले PSIR बैच में, मैम आई हैव अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम विथ वैल्यू एडिशन. Can you tell me how can I do value addition? Everybody says scholars likho, bring in value addition. And I asked a simple question. Can you explain the concept of balance of power to me? तो उसने बोला कि he started thinking and said, मैंने कहा stop fooling yourself. See, doing new things, collecting material gives you dopamine. And I'll tell you why. Because it feels like you're doing something. Why is it so interesting to watch plan videos? Why is it so restart your life wala videos? Because it gives you a feeling that you've done something without even doing it. Please don't run for more material and more content without getting a hold over concepts. Let me promise you, if your concepts are good, value addition is never going to bother you. Value addition मैं कराऊंगी. Value addition के बहुत material market में available है. That is never a problem. So when you are starting off, even if it is taking time, please build concepts because it is not a one-day journey. Unfortunately, to break it to you, sometimes you may have to write the optional 3 times also. I don't want that. Trust me. I would want good for you. I would want that you clear in first attempt. But let's be realistic. There are people who have to write exam for 3 good attempts, 4 good attempts, which means you'll have to come back to optional for 3 good times. And no, it is not going anywhere. अगले 5 साल कहीं नहीं जा रहा optional. So what I'm saying is, while you are writing, while you're reading, do it in a way that conceptual clarity is 100%. So spend time thinking, आया क्या समझ? Ask yourself, can I distinguish between different types of democracies? Do I know what is its relation with accountability? So don't just read, don't just memorize, don't just be in a habit of collecting material. 100% the priority has to be conceptual clarity. Everything else comes later. Without conceptual clarity, answer writing is impossible. Let me tell you. So, first approach while you're reading, studying has to be answer writing. But ma'am, I've heard that you have to be very scholarly in your writing. आपके answers ना बहुत scholarly होने चाहिए. That's true. That's true. So let's go back to UPSC का notification. What does the UPSC notification say about optional subjects? According to UPSC, if you are writing any optional subject, you should have a honors level understanding of that subject. UPSC कहता है that you should have a honors level understanding of that subject. Now, what do you mean by honors level? Honors means a little more than bachelor's, but a little less than master's. So it is somewhere in between. You have to write an answer as if you are an honors in that subject. So more than the bachelor's and less than the master's. So sure, it cannot be a generic answer. बिल्कुल सही बात है. You need to write like somebody who is a political science student. But that does not mean you have to blindly dump people and their names. This person said this person said this. You have to not memorize 5,000 different quotes. Being scholarly means writing in a theoretical framework. Now, what do you mean by writing in theoretical framework? It means exactly knowing which theory was given by whom and what are the different school of thoughts to think about a particular topic. How would Marxists think about something? How would liberals think about something? How would communitarians think about something? How would feminists look at a particular bill? What would be feminist perspective to the new bill on transgenders amendment act? Point being scholarly does not mean you have to memorize all the scholars and dump them in your answers without context. No, it simply means reading a subject like a scholar of that subject would, which means you have to be very, very correct with the different school of thoughts. तो एक जनरल आंसर ऑन क्वेश्चन आई आस्क यू कि ओके व्हाई डू स्टेट्स गो टू वॉर, तो आप बोलोगे बिकॉज दे वांट टेरिटरी, बिकॉज दे वांट रिसोर्सेस, बिकॉज देयर आइडियोलॉजीज आर डिफरेंट. दिस इज अ जेनेरिक आंसर. अ स्कॉलरली आंसर विल बी रियलिस्ट के हिसाब से वॉर इज इनएविटेबल. इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एनी ऑफ दिस, डोंट वरी, I'll be teaching you, or if you're reading on your own, you'll be reading it. So if it looks difficult right now, no problem. So realist will say, "Arey, the world is anarchic. We don't have an international body. So war is going to happen." Constructivist will tell you that war is a choice. Same answer, when written from different perspectives, becomes scholarly. So please, scholarly is not about dumping scholars. I'm not saying scholars are not important, but don't obsess over scholars. You would learn scholars when you're reading the content. Focus more on concepts and different school of thoughts and connect the concepts with that school of thought, and your answer is going to become scholarly. That's my promise. So strategy number 1, be very good with concepts. Strategy number 2, relate it to different school of thoughts and make your answer comprehensive. Should we not look out for data? Bilkul, bilkul. We have to give examples. We have to look out for data. This is where our PSIR fix is going to help. So keep a track of PSIR fix. And again, you will be rewarded with data and examples that you can quote in your answers. I'm not very worried about it. My experience says that ये eventually हो जाता है. Once you clear your prelims, mains is approaching. People help you. Institutes like us or somebody else comes out with data. So it is not a big problem. The problem is this. The problem is concepts. The problem is spending time with the content. इस पे ध्यान दो. Rest of it eventually will happen for sure. Next thing is be a student who learns to interlink. Now, ma'am, what is the meaning of interlinkage? Everybody says interlink, but what do you mean by interlink? So don't think of paper 1 part A, part B, paper 2 part A, part B as separate topics. Read them separately, but every month clock in an hour where you learn to connect one thing with the other. So sit with a topic. Ma'am has taught you about soft power. Try to think about soft power in India. Make a flow chart and think क्योंकि इंडिया में कहाँ soft power दिखता है. Recently, what has been the role of media? What has been the role of pressure groups? What has been the role of social media? Be in a habit of linking one topic of the syllabus to the other. We do it in our classes, but again, if you're preparing on your own, dedicatedly give time every month for interlinkages. इसके benefits enormous है, my dear students. The benefits are enormous. So make sure that you do it regularly. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to solve PYQs. I request, I command, जो भी मान लो, if you think of somebody who has the right to command you, I command you to do PYQs. If there is one thing that is going to set you apart, everybody knows this, पता सबको है, करता कोई नहीं है. So please promise me that at least 13 years you are going to do. Anything over it is a bonus. If you can do 20, 30, 40 even, mazedar. Please do PYQs. Those are low hanging fruits. Just visualize you have a fruit here and there's a fruit there. Crazily you are going and trying to get that fruit, but you're not eating the one that is in front of you. I'm sure you'll call yourself stupid. Same analogy goes here. I'll call you stupid if you're not doing PYQs. I'll be very honest with you. You're stupid because fruit is in front of you. You're struggling hard to get that fruit but not eating this one. Then what should I call you? I should call you stupid only. So please do PYQs. These are low hanging fruits. हाथ पे लिख लो, माथे पे लिख लो, write it in your diary, write it in front of you, but do your PYQs, please. Also make it a habit to incorporate toppers answers. I had done previously a workshop on how to use toppers copies. I'm going to do it again. Please attend that workshop. But to give it in a nutshell, make sure that once in a while you look at some of the toppers answer copies. Don't look too many. Maybe pick up 2-3 best ones that you like for each section. Take a look at those answers. See what has worked for them. Compare your answers with them. And one more way you can use toppers answers is by using value addition from there. She has used a good quote. चुरा लो, अपने notes में लिख लो. Steal it and write it in your quotes, in your notes. She has used a particular scholar. Put it in your notes. How this helps is you now know what value addition has worked. If it has worked for her, it is going to work for you. Don't overdo this, but once a month you should sit with toppers answer booklet also for about 5 years, for about 5 hours to make your already made notes better. That brings me, ma'am, how do I make notes? Book list आपने बता दी, strategy आपने बता दी. How do I make notes? So see, there are two ways of doing this. Let me explain both to you, and then I'll come to PSI dictionary also. I suggest a approach which I call as the 4-folder approach. So first thing is, if you're reading from books, the first thing that you should do is you should make detailed notes. Okay? सब कुछ लिख लिया from this book, that book, etc. But if you're somebody who is buying some notes or who is attending my class, then I give you detailed notes for every topic. Now what you do is you pick up 4 folders. 4 folders उठाओ. Name them. Paper 1 part A, paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A, paper 2 part B. If I have my folders, I'll show you. So you pick up one folder. Now you have named that folder. In that folder, attach the syllabus of paper 1 part A. So this is my folder for paper. Say, assume kar lo, ye diary hai, but assume kar lo, this is a folder. I'll name it as paper 1 part A. On the front page of this diary, I'm going to stick the syllabus or the folder. Maintain a folder and not a diary. I'll tell you the reason. Write the syllabus of paper 1 part A. And then put sticky notes and write each topic. So paper 1 part A ka topic 1, topic 2, topic 2, topic 4, topic 5, topic 6 slides like that. And then take loose sheets. इसका फायदा बता रही हूँ, सुन लेना. Listen to me first. Now that you have a loose sheet, you prepare summary notes. Summary notes are micro notes of the topic that you have read. Reason being, on the D day, you need one page where you can get everything about that topic. So what you do is you make 2, 3, 4 pages for a particular topic, stick it, attach it to the folder of paper 1 part A. And after every topic, attach a loose sheet there only and put a heading value addition. I'll tell you the benefit of it. मान लो I have made notes on NAM. I have 3 pages that summarizes everything about NAM for me. Now I was reading PSIR fix and there was an interesting quote about NAM by Happy Moon Jacob. मैंने उसको उठाया. Directly I'll pick that quote and I'll attach it with the NAM sheet. Instead of randomly writing in a diary. I'll tell you the problem. When you randomly write something in the diary, you're not able to connect it to the topic. Now, because you're not able to connect it with the topic, you're not able to recall it on the exam day. Now what happens is everything about NAM I have in 4 pages. Right from value addition to data examples to scholars to the core content. Now my brain can process this better. All of that information is with me and now I can reproduce it better. My dear students, don't just go and start your preparations. Please implement this. The benefits of this is going to be tremendous. Because you know what? The day you are going to write exam, hoga pata hai kya? You will have all of this at one place. Ma'am, I am not somebody who makes physical notes. No problem. Do the exact same thing digitally. The point is not having it physically or digitally. The point is having it at one place. Understand my point here. So now, if you're making it digitally, I have a folder paper 1 part A. I can literally open that folder, open Plato, and I have everything about Plato at one place. I have everything about West Asia at one place, including scholars, current affairs, and data. So my mind can instantly recall it and will be able to reproduce it. Abhi mehnat hai, but the bigger picture, see the bigger picture. On the day, my dear students, optional is enormously important for your final selection. So you don't want to mess with it. You don't want to compromise on it. I am sure you don't want to. So please make sure that you do this little extra effort right now. Or extra bhi nahi hai. You eventually have to make diary and notes, etc. From the day one, keep it organized and you will be benefited. One last input of the day, and then we are going to call it a day, is what I call as PSIR dictionary. I compulsorily make my students maintain it, and I'm going to tell you why I ask you to do this. My dear students, tell me, what is the difference between two people? How would two people who have been PSIR scholars, who have been PSIR professors, they're speaking on a particular topic, how would they be different from two people who are sitting on, say, chai ki thadi and discussing about politics? What do you think would be the difference? Sure, Shruti, I'll do that. Answer my question first. What do you think will be the difference? Yes, Aditya is right. The terms that they are going to use, the vocabulary that they are going to use, epistemic communities. is a keyword, is a vocabulary. My dear students, every subject has a vocab. बहुत सारे differences होंगे. Their arguments is going to be different. Sometimes the analysis may even be deep. Sometimes data can be very different from what they've heard and what really the data is. But what really sets them apart is they would know the language of the subject. What would make you score marks is when you would know the language of this subject. I'll tell you two benefits of building political science ka vocabulary. One, you understand questions better. Half battle is won when you understand questions. आधा जंग तो वहीं जीत जाते हो. You win half battle when you are able to understand questions. So, PSIR dictionary क्या है? What is PSIR dictionary? What I want you to do is, I want you to maintain a dictionary, a diary, a digital diary. Whenever you come across a keyword, write it in your diary. If you're maintaining a physical one, A, B, C, D, you can segregate it. You can also, some of my students make it on an Excel sheet. So every time we read, every time I am putting a word on Telegram channel, I've given you a keyword. Write its definition in 3-4 lines and keep coming back to this dictionary every day for 10 minutes. Just look at this dictionary. How you used to do? Now nobody is doing it, but I remember in my school days I used to do it. I used to just, look at dictionary essay just plainly and see a new word. So, in 10 minutes every day, just have a habit of looking at the dictionary. You will be surprised how your answers change because now you'll speak political science language. Two benefits: you understand questions better, you write answers better. Ma'am, how am I going to find these words? You are going to find them in newspaper. You're going to find them in my class. You're going to find them on the Telegram channel. You're going to find them in books. You're going to find them in PYQs. They are everywhere. Your job is to pick up the keyword, quickly write a 3-line definition of it, and more important than that, keep visiting it every day for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I don't want more than that. This single thing can take your answers from 6 to 7.5. Bata rahi. Because now you speak honors like you speak the language of this subject. My dear students, all that was required to start, I've already told you. इसके अलावा you don't need to know anything. You just need to start. I'll repeat note making format. So what you do is, I'm just going to show you. So if you're doing it physically, what you can do is you can take up folders like these. If you're doing digitally, you can just create a folder over your drive or Notion. जैसे भी आप use करते हो. I am a physical copy person, so I do it like that. I recommend like that, but you can do it digitally also. Many of my students do it digitally. So I will name it paper 1 part A. Now I'm going to stick the syllabus on the front page and then I'm going to make notes topic wise. So paper 1 part A, topic number 1, political theory, meaning and approaches. So all my notes for meaning and approaches are on the first page. I'm going to attach a loose sheet. Uske piche I'm going to attach a loose sheet that is going to have any of the value addition, any of the value addition that I need to do with that particular topic. So I am finding some new data, some new scholar, some new points on that topic only, of that last page only. I have everything written. So towards the end of it, I literally have everything about that topic at one place. That's the idea. Similarly, do it for paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A, paper 2 part B. In the next cycle, when you come back, you can even consolidate it further. You can make 1 page out of 4 page. But that is for another day. Abhi ke liye this is enough for me. My dear students, I have tried to cover everything that was possible. I have also given you the note making ka idea here. I've told you the benefits of note making. The last point that you worry about is answer writing. My dear students, if you think you can write best answers from day one, you are mistaken. Please don't live in this fear, live in this bubble that answers have to be perfect from day one. Answer writing happens in stages, my dear students. Accept it. My concern is, are you starting? Stage 1 may you should be able to understand the question. Focus should be, am I writing what the examiner is demanding? Am I writing what is the demand of the question? That's it. I'm not worrying about your content. I'm not worrying about your scholarly answers. Nah, I don't care. My first worry is, तुमको question समझ में आ रहा है क्या? Start from this agenda that I have to learn how to dissect the question. Second is, go towards now writing answers which are conceptually correct. ठीक है, I've understood what the question demands. I've learned that art of understanding questions. Now I am going to write the demand of the question addressed perfectly. The third stage of answer writing would be when you are going to bring in interlinkage, good scholars in your answers. You are going to improve your introduction and conclusion. ये क्यों बोला पता है? Why did I say it? So many of you worry about interlinkage in stage 1 and never start writing. That should not be your worry. Your worry in stage 1 should be simply, am I understanding the demand of the question? Do I understand what the question is asking? Practice it for 10 answers and you will learn it. From next 10, learn how to write good, conceptually correct answers. In the next stage, learn to add value. If you're going to worry about writing these answers in stage 1, it is like my son Nirbhay, 1.5 years, I am worried ki why is he not able to read Harry Potter? Then obviously I'm never going to start. That's going to create fear uske man mein bhi, mere man mein bhi. So please don't be in that fear. You have to look at answer writing as a stage-wise process. It's an art. It's not going to come from day one. It has to be done from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 only. Yes, it would be shared with you on the Telegram channel. The PSIR manual will be shared on the Telegram channel as already mentioned in the beginning after the end of this session. जैसे ही session खत्म होगा, all three things, the PYQs, the syllabus and the manual will be available. Now, some of you are still not getting the point on note making. I don't know why it is so difficult, but I'll still repeat it for you. So basically what I want you to do is, आपका जो syllabus है, if you look at the syllabus, it has two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 has 2 sections and paper 2 has 2 sections. So what I want you to do is bring 4 folders, right? Name first folder as paper 1 part A, second folder as paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A and paper 2 part B. Deepa, is that making sense to you? Now what I want you to do is, for every section, bring the syllabus and attach it. Say for example, paper 1 part A is here. The syllabus of paper 1 part A is attached here. Right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick point-wise topics from this syllabus and keep adding it as a summary note. Short topics, short notes, add karti gayi. After every short note, I will attach a blank sheet, an empty paper, to that topic itself and leave it empty right now. Upar I will write value addition. Every time I am going to get a new point, a new fact, a new scholar, a new quote, I am quickly going to open point number 2, syllabus paper 1 part A, topic ke piche, I am going to write that. So now Deepa and Darshadharmi, I have everything about that topic at one place and I simply need to revise it. Abhi samajh mein aaya? Deepa, ready? Is that clear? Is this note making strategy clear to my dear students? Please give me a yes or a no. Yash says a yes. Very good. Very good. So, the idea is, I don't want you to be scattered. That's it. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to tell you. Now I'll look at the Q&As. If you have any questions, I'll also be coming with a lot more workshops. 2 are already planned. One is on answer writing in PSIR. Well, I'll break down how step by step you have to do answer writing. What is writing in paragraph versus point means? Should you write in paragraph? Should you write in points, maps, diagrams? And another one is about dissecting the idea of toppers copies, how to use toppers copies. If you have any more ideas with regards to free workshops, then please let me know. I'll do that. Samiksha, can you please tell me what exactly is the problem with note making? Because I think I explained it very exhaustively. Can you please tell me what exactly is worrying you? So I'm going to repeat it for you so that I know what is the problem that I need to address. Is it that you don't understand the four folder thing, or is it that you don't understand the approach itself? Can you please specify so that I can help you better? So let me start taking questions one. Yes, those of you who want to leave may leave. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being so patient. I hope it is going to help you. One thing is for sure that if you follow this, you will get the results that you want. But if you just listen to it and go, then I'm sure it's not going to help you. ठीक है. Okay. Ma'am, could you talk about consolidating PSIR terms in one place again? Yes, Anushka. So basically, what I'm saying is every subject has a vocab, some keywords that make up that subject. So now what happens is if you try to memorize all of these words in one day, that does not happen because vocabulary is built over time. The language that you know today has been built over time. So what I suggest is keep a diary. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, I do take a lot of efforts in my workshop. So when you give me a kind word, it does matter. Thank you so much. It means a lot, Divya. I am taking all the questions one by one. So now what happens is when you have one diary where all your words, keywords are there, over the year, say you have 200 words, and those 200 words is something that you can replicate in your answers. That will be visible in the way you are writing your answers. Or you're going to understand questions better. A question पूछ लिया with regards to epistemic communities. And everybody is like, what is an epistemic community? But that keyword is there all over your PYQs. So ultimately, a diary, which is like a diary with all the terms that you keep reading. That's it, Anushka. I hope that makes sense to you. Anonymous says, how many hours daily classes per self? So at least 5 hours. Or on the lower side, 4 hours. 2.5 hours of class and 1.5 hours of self preparation is needed. Anonymous says, ma'am, please share a revision strategy for PSIR, how to use active recall. This calls for another workshop. इसके लिए एक workshop करनी पड़ेगी. Anonymous. It can't be answered in day. And I think this should happen only gradually. First, you should complete your syllabus and then we can come to. Generally, what I suggest is spaced revision should be done like this. Every day after the class, revise the course content or material that has been provided to you. Every week, revise the topics that have been covered that week. Every month, write answers on the topic that you have covered that month. And sectional revisions. Easily, if you look at the course plan that I've shared, after 6 topics or 7 topics, I've given you a sectional test. So a generic answer would be that, but for a specific day, we can call for a what do you call it? We can call for a workshop for it. Anonymous says, ma'am, can you please share your pedagogy? Okay, so my pedagogy is pretty simple. I work on the idea that conceptual clarity first. So whenever we start our classes, we first begin with looking at PYQs. We understand what all questions have been asked from this topic before. Then we go over to understand the core of that topic. Core of that topic, matlab, what did Ambedkar say? What were his ideas on state socialism? What did he believed about religion? What did he thought about caste? What is annihilation of caste? How were his ideas different from Gandhi? So after we have looked at the PYQs, we look at the core content of what that topic is about. Towards the end of it, we go for an analysis of it. Analysis of it is usually about what went right, what went wrong, what is the relevance of it in today's world. And then we again go back solving questions of that topic. So now we see with the information that we have, are we able to write answers? Now, why did we start with paper 1 part B? So generally there is no rule to it. I am okay if you start with paper 1 part A also, particularly because a lot of you are starting your preparation right now and you're quite okay with your GS things. You've read your polity a little. It gives you a little confidence when you start with paper 1 part B. Because say you are aware of Indian government and politics a little, you know what is judiciary, you have read a little about polity, you know a little about executive and legislature. So generally the momentum picked up is good, and therefore it can transfer to other sections as well. However, if you want to start with paper 1 part A also, I don't have a problem, because ultimately you will have to consolidate everything any which way. Shivam says, ma'am, it's hard to make concise notes. It's 100% true. I have already taken a workshop on how to make summary notes. I'm going to take it again. Shivam, I recommend you watch it, and I'm sure it's going to help you. Making summary notes is an art. I teach it to my students in class. I'm also planning to conduct a free workshop or a video on it. So please attend it, and I'm sure it's going to help you. Uh, Subramanya says how to current affairs and how to indulge in it. Indulge in it. So Subramanya, one thing is be in a habit of reading newspapers. I am not somebody who is going to tell you that newspapers are not important. I don't agree to that. I highly think, I highly recommend reading newspapers every day. Even if you just read it for say 1 hour, you should be reading newspapers. It is very important to read newspapers if your optional is PSIR. I'll tell you the reasons. One, you know and understand the context of what is going around in the world. Second important thing is newspaper is not just about building information. It teaches you comprehension. You learn how to understand something. You learn how to express something. So suggestion number 1, be in a habit of reading. Read for an hour the newspaper, but read it. Second is, of course, as I told you, you can visit the websites that I've recommended. And third is, I recommend using PSIR Fix, because I definitely take a lot of time curating it. And those who have used it have given me positive reviews about it. Keshav says, ma'am, I feel I have natural inclination on PSIR because of international relations. But when I saw PYQs, I felt socio is more answerable to me than PSIR. Then go for sociology. Go for sociology, provided you also enjoy sociology. So if enjoyment and coverage is both on the side of sociology, go for sociology and stick to it. But if you think you're only taking it because it looks more easier to you, perhaps because you have not read PSIR, then perhaps you need to think again. So my suggestion to you would be figure out, is it because you have not read PSIR, therefore you think sociology is easier? Or is it because sociology is something that interests you as well? If both of these collide, please go for sociology. Tanisha says, ma'am, can you say why this is important and helps in the journey? Now I have to crack this. Nahi samjha, Tanisha. What is important? What is important? PYQs. Please specify your question again. Aditya says, ma'am, I am pursuing graduation in philosophy from DU. Okay, great. And I'm considering PG in PSIR. You mean the IR wala course that they have. I'm interested in both fields and would appreciate your guidance on what to choose. Aditya, I recommend writing an email to me. I'll tell you my email ID, neelam.bhatia@upscprep.com. Neelam, Neelam, .bhatia@upscprep.com. Give me a detail of what your career goals are. What is your backup plan? Also, what makes you think that you can do well in doing IR, post graduation versus philosophy? Give me all that your propositions are, and then I'll be able to guide you better. Anonymous says, I'm planning to join complete GS course in UPSCprep.com, but I want to know is the classes will take in English language or Hindi language. So I can speak for myself, Anonymous. The classes are in English, and I recommend attending classes in English if you're going to write your exam in English. A lot of people are in the market selling courses English ke naam par, but I really don't like this when optional is made in English. And I'll tell you the reason. You start thinking in Hindi and then you start writing in English and you are lost. So it's not a good idea. Stick to the language that makes sense to you. If it's Hindi, then Hindi. If it's English, then in English. But Anonymous, yes, the courses are in English language, just to clarify. Should I choose philosophy just because yeah, a little thing also, my dear students, if you can tell me in the chat box, from where did you get to know about this workshop? I would love that as a feedback exercise. Take care. Aditya says, should I choose philosophy just because I'm having graduation? Aditya, as I said, please write a detailed email to me on Neelam, Neelam, saralby.nia@upscprep.com. Okay? And I would want to hear from you. Alternatively, you can also write to me on Saral by Neelam, SARALBYNEELAM 22 @gmail.com. All of this will be provided to you on our Telegram channel. If you are there on the Telegram channel, you will get all of these resource material there as well. Right. Right. Awesome. Wonderful. Most welcome. Where can I watch the video on the syllabus explanation you mentioned? So, San, is that the correct pronunciation of your name? You will find it on UPSCprep.com's YouTube channel. Ma'am, I think I'm a little weak in philosophy thinking. Should I go with that? You can learn, Ramraj. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. See, you have not started your preparation. How can you decide that right now, whether you're good at it or not? Too early to say that. What are the basic books? So, Sarvesh, I've given a detailed book list. Please stick to that and don't do anything extra. Pavan says, good afternoon, ma'am. I'm planning to appear for UPSC CSE Prelims 2026. Oh, okay. Should I join the optional classes now along with my prelims preparation, or is it better to join after prelims? Also, will there be a new batch available after prelims 2026? Pavan, no. Right now, don't join. Reason is, right now you should focus on your prelims. See, prelims is getting difficult. So I don't want you to juggle between right now is not the time for optional if you're writing prelims 2026. Ideally you should have been done with it, but life happens. So in that case, you should wait, see how it turns out for your prelims, and then you can join the next batch. But not right now. Focus on prelims right now, Pavan. Ma'am, I have not completed GS syllabus. So what? Subramanya, I don't get this point. If you wait for completion of GS syllabus, for how long would you wait? See, it's your call, but how long would you wait? Just think about it. And then if you wait, when are you going to complete it? I don't think that's a great idea. Divya says PSIR feels like a deep, deep ocean to me. Even if I read analyzing PYQs in test, I do not get the marks where I should stop gathering more info in static topics as well as for the dynamic ones. So Divya, that's where you perhaps need a teacher, honestly. Where should you stop? का simple answer है whenever you think you're able to write past 10 years questions. Whenever you have 3-pager notes on a topic, you can have 10-pager notes and 20-pager notes also. But is it a guarantee that you're going to get a question on that topic only? It is not. So breadth has to be balanced with depth. Breadth and the depth should be balanced. How are you going to balance breadth with depth? Pretty simple. You should know कि 3 points, 3 pages, now I have enough. Let me stop. Even if I have more, it's not going to change anything. So generally, why do we get too deep is because we think everything has to be done. No, you just have to stop at a point where you think PYQs is something that you can answer. And for current affairs, simple thing is if I have 5 fodder points, I'll stop there. Harsh Harry says, ma'am, if someone is well interested in international relations, follows news every day. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, Harsh. In that case, you will have to give a little more efforts. But then, what? 5 months? 3 months is still not something that I think is doable. But that's my viewpoint. Booklist PDF send Telegram. Everything will be available to you on Telegram, as I already said. And yes, you can thank me later. Booklist also, San, will be on the Telegram channel. So there are 2 Telegram channels. You can find it on my Telegram channel, that is UPSC with Saral by Neelam, PSIR Saral by Neelam, and UPSCprep.com ka PSIR optional ka channel. You're going to find all of this on all these channels. Sab kuch, everything will be shared. Just make sure that you are there. If you don't get it, you can write to me and I'll email it to you. I have nothing to gatekeep. It is for you only. It has been prepared for you only. For those who are not able to listen to my email ID, I'm going to write it in the chat box. You can copy paste it. Oh, Girija is also here. All well, Girija, how are you? So I'm going to write it here. Yes, Harsh, Harry, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'm glad that I've been able to help you in little ways. This is email ID number 1. Alternatively, you can write me here as well, right? So just mark these two email IDs and drop me an email ID there. 48 hours is my average response time. So please wait for 48 hours before shooting in the second email. Aishwarya says, ma'am, I'm preparing about centricism from my college exams, and while connecting to contemporary application, I came across a popular political party which used to win the election. Can I point the incident? Not advisable, Aishwarya, in UPSC. I get what you're trying to say, but avoid using anything that can create any kind of controversy because you don't know where your email ID is going to, or where your answers are going to go. So basically, we don't know who is checking your answers. So being careful only helps. Quoting generic examples, global examples are better than giving any specific examples. Also, those worried about Telegram, this is the Telegram channel. You can join any of these two, both of these rather. You won't be hurt because anyway, I'm be coming with a lot of free initiatives. So it's going to be helpful for you. See, I'm going to tell you, I also teach for UGC net, okay? So when I teach for UGC net, I teach there in English because it's an objective exam. So it's okay. I am the same person जो वहाँ पर English में पढ़ाती है. Why? Because it's an objective exam. I don't care whether I read in English or in Hindi because I have to at the end of the day mark MCQs. The problem here is you have to write. How can you keep thinking reading in Hindi and then write good in English? Think about it. So for subjective exams, please stick to the course language that you have selected. If there is, whether you are in my course or not, please don't compromise on this aspect. Ma'am, how should I approach PSIR as my graduation? Okay. Very, very welcome, San. So happy that I was of some help to you. Khandokar says, ma'am, how should I approach PSIR? As in my graduation, I had political science as a discipline. And also currently I'm in fourth semester of Masters in Political Science from Jamia. Okay. Okay. I have also seen PYQs. So should I just take up some coaching material and notes for it? Huh. So if you're Masters in Political Science, I don't think you need any coaching if you're done with graduation and Masters. And I think you're very good with the concepts. That's my assumption. If that is what is happening, just pick up. So you must have read some books while you were in your graduation and post-graduation. I recommend sticking to those books along with some material. So what you do is अपने books वापस निकालो, bring about all your books again, put them up, make a list of the books that you have read, see what is the recommended book list, buy some notes, and then consolidate everything and start making notes topic wise. And then supplement it with your value addition. So you will be good to go, Tasin. Rudra says, I've got some advice like make notes in a way you're going to answer the questions in main. So according to you, what should be the approach to note making? Rudra, I think note making should be done in two stages. I'm going to again take a detailed workshop on it, but simply understand it this way. The first cycle of note making should be about consolidation. I have read detailed notes. Now I need to consolidate it in 3 pages. Okay, this is your cycle number 1. Cycle number 2 is the same notes, I'll draft it in question answer format. So same notes, I'll write in intro, body, conclusion, value addition. That's it. So don't try to do both at one go. Try to do it in cycles. Cycle number 1 and cycle number 2, and you'll be sorted. Anonymous says, I want to shift to IGNOU Masters in Political Science after my degree course in science subject. Okay, you can do that. Yes. What is the correct pronunciation here? Dashra Dharmi. Please correct me. My apologies. Yes, the PPT will also be shared with you. Absolutely. Everything that I discussed here will be shared with you. Ma'am, I'm confused between PSIR, sociology, and history. Although I love all 3 subjects, but I hate heavy cramming and memorization. Shreyansh, drop me an email on this along with your detailed thing. Along with your reasons of not going for it or going for it, everything. Vashishta says Indian government and politics part of paper 1 includes static or dynamic. Yes, so it is some parts of it are static, Vishesh, as I said, but you would need to do a lot of current affairs also there. Yes, the fees, as I told you, is 19,999, Tanisha, for the one without test series. And with test series, it is 24,999. Both of them include mentorship. And both of them are running on a 10% discount right now. Anonymous says, will daily answer writing be included in the course without test series? Yes. Let me clarify this. Even if you don't buy the test series, answer writing is part of the course, even in 19,999 wala variant also. In the test series one, the tests are extra besides the daily answer writing, Anonymous. Shweta, as of now, the course is starting from 15th of April. Next batch, as and when it comes, we'll inform you the date. Divya says questions regarding the course. Can we ask GS related doubts to the mentor? So since Divya, the mentors are specifically from PSIR ka background, so you can ask questions, but not like you can ask economy ka question. You can ask questions related to say polity, international relations, or say some current affairs related to it, some bill, but of course not of economics because that's not a GS course, right? These tests will be offline. No, they are going to be online. They are going to be online. Yes. If you're not in Delhi, you can write the test, scan them, and you'll have to send it to us over the portal. Yes. Yes, yes, Divya, absolutely. Remarks will be given by not. Girija says, ma'am, is it generally advised to go with... So, dekho, Girija, that's right. We often do last 13 years because the syllabus changed. So the topics before that are from different areas of the syllabus. But Girija, also a lot of these topics are same. That is why I say if you're starting early, you can even go beyond 10 years, 20 years, 25 years also. Just pick up those topics and just start with uh, those topics which are there in common syllabus, right? Divya says, I've seen the brochure and the course is starting. Yes, so as I told you, Divya, it is because of the overlap with your GS. You already have a strong foundation with it and that consolidates together. That's why. Anonymous says, where can I get a book list and today's PDF? Mm, the Telegram channel. I told you. Just told you. Please check it in the chat box. You can take it up from there. Okay. Girija says, also, ma'am, there are various topics which interlink to both papers or both papers start like the topic about changing world order. Also encapsulates the idea of various ideologies. Sahi baat hai, right? So how can we proceed with such topics to folder with value addition? No, to samjhe, Girija. So say, for example, paper 1 part A, topic number 2 connects with paper 2 part A ka topic number A. You write it there towards the end. Read paper 2 part A alongside. That's it. Now you have it in your folder. Read them together. That's it, Girija. Don't complicate it. Why लिख दो? Just write it there and go back to it. That's it. Manas says, ma'am, can you please share your pedagogy? I think, Manas, I just explained. I think this question has been repeated, Manas. Crash course. As of now, no. But yes, we'll be coming up with a crash course post prelims for those who are writing mains. So you can check at that time. Sankalp says for the 4 folder method, do we first make detailed notes of books or classes and then forward the end? We'll start taking the micro notes. So you can do it in 2 ways, Sankalp. If you are in my course, or I think most courses give you detailed notes. So you don't need to make detailed notes. Any other course, if you're reading from books, then you'll have to make detailed notes. The 4 folder approach is particularly when you already have detailed notes, you make summary of those detailed notes in your folder. How many months will you take to complete the syllabus? As I said, 6 to 7 months, Anonymous. So, Ramraj, as I told you, we are starting with paper 1, part B. And then we move over to paper 2, part A. Then paper 2, part B. And then we come back to paper 1, part A. Also, because paper 1, part A is the one that is most scholar heavy, intense heavy. So now that you are thorough with the 3 papers, coming back to paper 1 part A will consolidate everything together. Honestly saying, at the end of the day, what matters is how well you are done with the topics and nothing else matters. But to tell you the reasoning, it was because you're more familiar with these topics, so starting over gets easy for people who are starting early. Ma'am, I am currently a second year undergraduate. Sanjana says student with political science as one of my major subjects, along with economics and public administration. I am planning to do my master's in political science. I want to take up PSIR. Please write an email to me. Sanjana, I'll answer this in detail. Where can you write to me? As I said, neelam.bhatia@upscprep.com and saral by neelam22@gmail.com. San says, ma'am, which telegram channel will the document be provided? So upscprep.com का जो PSR का channel है and my own, both places you will find it. San. Ma'am, could you talk about consolidating PSR terms? I think Anushka did that. No, this question has been repeated. Ayush is saying, ma'am, my question is, will you teach both paper 1 and paper 2 or there's some other faculty? No, I'll be teaching you both the papers. Everything I'll be teaching. I'm the sole faculty. I'm doing GS course for how many hours should I study PSR? As I said, 4 hours. 4 hours are at least needed. Ayush, we are starting with paper 1 part B, paper 2 part A, paper 2 part B, and we come back to paper 1 part A. Yash says, I'm not yet started my GS study, but I done my 12th with humanities. So should I start optional first or GS? Acha, you're just done with your 12th right now. Or you are done with your graduation. Please give more clarity. Anonymous says, ma'am, I am second year student. I wish to start in June because of my prior commitment. Yes, there would be a batch. No problem. Ma'am, do we also have workshops on anthropology? I'll convey this to the teachers. I'm sure kuch na kuch hoga isme. Daily, how many hours to put in to get completed in 6 months? 4.5 hours to 5 hours at least. Anonymous says, नमस्ते मैम मैं सिविल सेवा परीक्षा हिंदी मीडियम का अभ्यर्थी हूँ। न तो इस विषय के हिंदी में बेहतर शिक्षक हैं और ना ही एक बेहतर अध्ययन सामग्री है हिंदी मीडियम के लिए कोई सलाह। अनोनिमस बुरा लगता है मुझे, बात आपकी बिल्कुल सही है, आप गलत नहीं बोल रहे हैं। जितना कंटेंट, जितना मटेरियल, जितने टीचर्स इंग्लिश में अवेलेबल है हिंदी में नहीं है, आपकी बात 100% सही है। अभी के लिए मैं ये बोल सकती हूँ कि मेरे पास तो इतनी बैंडविड्थ नहीं है कि मैं हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में पढ़ा सकूं। हालांकि जो है मैंने हिंदी में भी इस सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ाया है, बट मैंने रियलाइज किया कि मैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें एक साथ कर रही थी, जिसकी वजह से मतलब इट वॉज इम्पैक्टिंग मी, मुझे उसका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा था, तो मैं अभी इसको सिर्फ इंग्लिश माध्यम में ही पढ़ा रही हूँ। आपके लिए सलाह मुझे ये होगी, मेरी तरफ से ये होगी कि आप अच्छा मटेरियल हिंदी में ढूंढने की बजाय अच्छे किताबें हिंदी में ढूंढिए और उससे खुद नोट्स बनाइए। मुझे पता है कि आपका जो काम है वो इंग्लिश वालों से थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाएगा, जैसा कि कहते हैं कि लाइफ इज नॉट फेयर, फेयर तो नहीं है ये जीवन, तो आपके लिए फेयर तो नहीं है ये, आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट। बट अगर आप सच में हिंदी से क्लियर करना चाहते हैं तो मटेरियल जो मार्केट में है वो आज की डेट में टू द पार इंग्लिश से नहीं है। सो मेरी रिकमेंडेशन होगी, थोड़ी आपको मेहनत ज्यादा लगेगी, पर आप प्लीज है ना किताबें पर ही रिलाई करें। हिंदी मीडियम की जो बुक्स हैं वो पढ़िए, सारी किताबें, लगभग सारी किताबें हिंदी मीडियम में अवेलेबल है। इग्नू के नोट्स भी हिंदी मीडियम में अवेलेबल है। तो रादर देन आप इंग्लिश वाले को कन्वर्ट करने में मेहनत करें, आप हिंदी पर ध्यान दें। मैं आपसे अभी कोई कमिटमेंट नहीं कर सकती, एक समय पर मैंने सोचा था कि मैं इन नोट्स को हिंदी में कन्वर्ट करूंगी, बट फिलहाल मेरे पास इसकी बैंडविड्थ नहीं है। मैं अपोलोजाइज आपको कर सकती हूँ, सॉरी आपसे कह सकती हूँ, आपके लिए डेफिनेटली ये मुश्किल है, बट मेरी सलाह आपको बहुत सिंपल है कि आप बुक्स पे रिलाई करें, नोट्स पर ना करें। अनोनिमस, आपको अनोनिमस लिखने की जरूरत नहीं थी, आप जो कह रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल ठीक है, हमें ये एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा और शायद हमारी एज टीचर्स ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि हम हिंदी मीडियम के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी कुछ करें। अनफॉर्चुनेटली मेरे पास बैंडविड्थ अभी नहीं है, पर शायद कभी मैं इस डायरेक्शन में कुछ डेफिनेटली करूंगी। अभी के लिए मेरी आपको सिंपल सजेशन है कि आप किताबों पर रिलाई करें, नोट्स पर ना करें। थोड़ा टाइम ज्यादा लगेगा पर आप कर लेंगे। Yes, yes, we can provide you sample notes. Chalo, let's provide it to you over Telegram also only. But what is the purpose of sample notes? What do you want to see? I'll provide you, but what is the purpose? Class duration is going to be 2.5 hours. Ma'am, I'm going to, I think this answer I have already answered. Ma'am, could you please share your Telegram channel name? Yes, as I said, UPSC with Neelam, PSIR Saral by Neelam, and UPSC Prep, PSIR with UPSCprep.com. I've also given the names on the chat box. You can search it there. Can we get the recording of your workshop held on making notes? Can you get the recording? I'm not sure if the recording is available anonymous. I'll have to check. Drop me an email if I'll have the recording. I'll send it to you. Ma'am, I'm not complete. Subramanya, I think I answered that. Still confused between Anthro and PSIR? Please drop me an email. Subject specific queries I can answer there. Ma'am, will you upload this PPT? Yes. 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 100%. So I have my own website, Saral by Neelam, but from here onwards, I'm collaborating with UPSCprep.com, and now the PSR course will be available on UPSCprep.com ka website, anonymous. Uh, Ma'am, I am in second year and I'm thinking of preparing my optional PSR first. I'm already doing political science honors. Acha. Yes, that's a good idea, anonymous. Absolutely. That way you can sync your preparations with your college preparation. Good idea. Absolutely. I am currently a second year undergraduate student, Sanjana says, with political science as one of my major subjects. Along with economics and public administration, I am planning to do my master's in political science. I want to take up PSR as an optional. Sanjana, please drop an email. यहाँ पर नहीं हो सकता ये आंसर. Detailed guidance you will need. Ma'am, I am a working professional. I joined UPSC Essential 2027 course and PSIR is my optional. ठीक है. My concern is time management. Yes, yes, yes. That's true. That's true. Mm, Ankit, what I can suggest you here is, can you finish up recordings on, is your Saturday, Sunday working? If not, then to both the courses together would be difficult and you'll have to wait. If your Saturday, Sunday is not, you have at your disposal, then what you can do is you can make optional as a marathon class. If you can commit, Saturday, Sundays you can dedicate to optional, watch recordings at one go, sit at one go and complete, and then, prepare the notes. And weekdays you can dedicate to GS. But if you don't have those off days, then I'm sorry, you'll have to pick up one. अभी के लिए that's only realistic. Anonymous says, good afternoon, ma'am. I like students who still start their questions with good afternoon. पता नहीं कहीं खो गया. I mean, of course, I don't think teachers have any obligation to be wished, but I like students who start with like that. Thank you. I struggle with understanding heavy, difficult terms, then I end up giving up. I don't feel like continuing as to how to. Yes, yes, yes. Anonymous, this is pretty easy problem. And many people face this problem. I'll tell you why. Because your brain craves familiarity. So if something is your comfort zone, you want to be there. So whenever you see a new word, okay, you are like, oh, I'll have to wreck my brains to understand it. I use the 2 minute rule for it. For example, I'm not very good with tech. So I wanted to learn how to use Claude for my work. And I was like, oh God, itne technical, these project, etc. So what I do when I'm doing difficult things is I give myself a 2 minute rule. You can try this. I tell myself that I'm only going to do it for 2 minutes. And once I do it for 2 minutes, I end up doing it. So you can try this. Whenever you look at a difficult term, just tell yourself, I'm going to do it for 2 minutes and eventually you're going to do it. So the point is, tell your brain कि 5 मिनट करते हैं. Let's do it for 5 minutes, not give up. Chances are, if you do it for 2 to 5 minutes, you're going to continue doing it. Darshan Dharmi says, could you please share your Telegram channel? Yes, as I said, dear, it is UPSC with Neelam, PSIR Saral by Neelam, and PSIR with UPSCprep.com. Okay. Shreyansh says, ma'am, I'm confused between PSIR, sociology, history. Please drop an email. Shreyansh. इसके लिए I'll have to, you know, wait. I'll have to read your personal thing before I give you any advice. I am not taking any coaching for my preparation, no problem. The only problem I have is getting my mains answers and PSR answers getting checked. Free initiative or something inexpensive. Uh, Anonymous, as of now, not really, but feedback taken. Let me see if we can do something. No promises there, but I can definitely try. Ma'am, I'm currently a second year undergraduate student. Please drop an email, Sanjana. Ma'am, Chandan says I'm currently in first year and my GS is almost done. So karo phir, optional, what are you waiting for? If you're done with your GS, there's no point you should be waiting. What makes you wait? There's no point waiting. Anoop says, ma'am, I'm from science background, especially from physics. I have not taken political science in my plus two. Yes, Anoop, a lot of students do that. Don't worry at all. It's not pure science. You can absolutely do it. Is it not, will it not require efforts? I don't say that. Can you do it? Yes. Same questions. Why are you repeating the same questions? No problem, Yash. I'm going to share it. No problem. No worries. You can also drop me an email. I'll send you some notes that you can use to frame your own notes. Ma'am, I am from science background, especially from physics. Or you can even go to my website, Saral by Neelam का website पे जाओगे, Yash. So there's a column optional notes. I've also uploaded some free notes there. You can take it from there also. Targeting year is 2028. You do your GS first, then Sanjay. 2028, so do your GS first. 2028 वाले आपको अभी optional not needed. Ma'am, Divya says I've done my political science honors from Calcutta University, but I still feel I don't know much about political science, pursuing masters in political science from IGNU as a backup. Yes, Divya, 100% the course is going to help you. 100%. Oh, thank you, Divya. I'm going to take a screenshot of your message. Thank you, Kajal. Thank you so much. Thank you, Subramanya. Thank you, Vasudha. Chandan, I think I've answered your query. Harsh, thank you so much. Yes, 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 you can drop me an email as I said. 5 to 6 hours is more than enough. More than enough. More than enough. Kushal says, ma'am, what to focus on first? Completing GS or optional? Any beyond advice of you regarding preparation? So, see, if you it is 2028, then you do your GS. If it is 2027, start with the optional. Advice is simple. Keshav says it's because I feel PSIR has very vast syllabus and sociology has open-ended questions, so everyone is answerable in that. Meanwhile, PSIR questions were very point-oriented. Yes, yes. So yes, that's your right. That's what I mean by knowing yourself. A big part of his journey is knowing who you are. Most of us don't know who we are. Once you know that, life does get easier. Madhuri, if you are done with NCRT, I'm fine. Thank you, everybody. So I think if anybody, anything else is ma'am, your email ID is not showing in my emails, matlab? What do you mean by that? Not showing in your emails, meaning? You're not able to mail me? How is that possible? So thank you so much, everybody. If there's anything that is left, you can email it to me and I'm going to answer it. I'm going to write it again. I'm going to give it to you again, Sanjay. You can take it from here. Chalo, bye-bye, everybody. Take good care of yourself. I will see you soon in next workshops or perhaps in the class. Bye bye. Take care and God bless you.